Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Monday, July the 25th, the year's 2022. Let's talk trading. What you cannot control with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and differ from Walmal's. Traders, we've talked about brain management in the past, and the FOLOs and the FOMOs and the Romos and the Rogos and the Robs, and talking about pain doesn't come from the market. Pain comes from your reaction to market. But there's certain things you can't control. When you push that button to enter or exit, you may or may not get in at the price you see when you first entered that trade. And that's something you can't control. And it's something that, if you're not careful, can put you on tilt, and then you just your plan goes out the window, and then all you do is struggle. Isn't that right, Walmall?
Oh yeah, it can certainly dampen your mood. That's for sure. I mean, back in the early days, it used to drive me nuts. It's that thing. I'll see price, at 74, and I go and punch to go long, and it puts me in at 76. And it's like they just stole two pips from me. It's like those ungrateful whatevers, whatever you want to call them, but. You can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can do about it. It stinks, but you got to keep the right mood. I was on the phone with you earlier, and what had happened was I was actually up, I was up a bunch. And when I say a bunch, I don't mean like hundreds of pips or anything like that. I mean a couple of pips, and I was sitting there, and I was profitable, and I was ready to go, and and take my profits off the table and put them in the bank. And the next thing you know, I punch the exit button, and the next thing you know, not only do I not get the couple of pips that I should have gotten, they ding me a pip or two. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. It's just the way it is. And of course, in my younger days, I'd go and say, those stinking brokers are out there. They're stealing my money again. Yeah,
They are.
I guarantee. They're not stealing Walmal's money. What they're doing is because the thing is, they really couldn't give, two chips about what I'm actually physically doing, because they're looking at a much bigger picture than just me, the one lone trader. It doesn't work that way. They don't have the time to go and do that, because they make a whole lot more money going and doing other things. But the reality is, that's the market. It happens sometimes. And I think I used an illustration with you, and sort of like you playing baseball. And what can happen is, you go get yourself an infield hit, and the ball's hit over by the shortstop, and the shortstop throws the ball over the first base, and you're clearly safe. There's no question about it. There's nobody in the entire stands. There's nobody on the field, that thinks that you're out, but the umpire calls you out anyway. Well, that's part of baseball. You get called judgment calls in baseball. Things happen. What are you going to do about it? And that's what I think you have to do a lot of times with trading. Things like this are going to happen. And if you don't go and deal with it, with a proper mindset, you're going to go and find yourself in trouble. Because what I've seen lots of traders do, including myself, back in the day, okay, I got to get this money back. I'm going to go and get this money back, and I'm going to do whatever I have to get this money back. And next thing you know, you're doing airball trades, you're doing revenge trades, you're just, following your plan anymore, and next thing you know, you had a problem. Now you got a real problem. If you're down a couple of pips from the day, as long as you've gone and set, we talked about limits last week, and as long as you got all your limits set right, and so what? Yeah, you got swatted. What are you going to do? It's just life. But at the same time, if you go and start trying to do things to go and make up for it, and not follow your plan anymore, well, now you can go from that place of, so what, you took a little bit of a loss here, to a place of, devastation where you can lose your account because you did something stupid, or you lose a significant amount of money. And so what happens is you go into the next day when you go and trade, and your mind is still messed up from the previous day. And that's the scary part. At least for me, that's the scary part that you can't do. You just got to go and say, yeah, it happened. And Tiro, you saw me today. I went and took that loss. It made me mad, but you just go on knowing that it's okay. And what do? You just keep on trading, trade your plan. And I've more than made up for the amount that they quote unquote stole from me. I probably made 3 or 4 times as much as they stole from me. So what are you gonna do? You just move on and just go and deal with it that way.
Yeah, in fact, I was reading something that had nothing to do with trading. It was just one of those life type things. And it's, you can't change the past. It's done. You can learn from it. But you have to really just, focus on the here and now and what you're going to do in the future. Um, because that's all you can do.
You can't change.
And to put the emotions into it, that doesn't serve any purpose at all. It's one of those things that usually works against you.
It's
And
gonna handicap you.
yeah, and the funny thing is, I guess it's something that we're not taught um, at all. Is that emotional management, where something happens, there's no reason to be mad. The most powerful thing you can do is control your reaction to what has happened, what has occurred. And I guess
Right.
that's
You're
something
exactly right.
that you learn through, decades of laps around the sun, if you're lucky.
Yeah. I mean, some of the smartest people that I ever met were the quietest people in the room. And the reason why is because they were smart enough to keep their mouths shut, observe what's going on, and react when they need to react. Not when they never reacted out of anger. They just, as I like to say, they kept their powder dry, reacted when it was the correct time to react, and that's the best way to go and deal with it. And it's not just trading. This is life.
Hmm.
We just go and do it. Through life experience. It's type of thing. Why is it that you think about it, go back to high school days? Why was it always that one group of people that always found themselves getting into fights? And I'm not saying that you don't ever get into a fight. What I'm saying is that why is it that one guy in high school, no matter what happens, no matter where, he always seems to be in some type of trouble? And if you look closely and observe closely, more times than not, because what he's doing is he's going and just reacting immediately to every situation. He doesn't have a plan for life. He doesn't have a plan for how he's going to go and do things. He just goes and reacts to what his eyes see and reacts to the candy that's in front of him. And when you do that, you're in trouble. Now, in trading, we have to react pretty quickly. No question about it. But you react to the plan that you've put in place, and if you got a plan in place and it's a good solid plan, yeah, fine. You go and you may take as my Australian friends say, you may take a nicker to the head,
Yeah.
but that's all it is, a little nicker to the head. And you just keep on going at it, and next thing you know, you knock it all down and you're in a good place.
Now I'm watching price right here, and I just flashed on a candle where this high was 2 H1s ago was at 82. And I was thinking it looked like, yeah, 82 might have been a good short. And so far it would have be up maybe a pip right now.
Yeah. It's funny because while we were on this video here, I actually went long at 82 from 3 minutes ago, and I picked up 2 or 3 pips. I'm not quite sure what I even got off of it, but I picked up at least 2 pips on it, and which was a really nice trade. And the reason why I did it, got in, my actual entry price was at 82.3, and it was a good place to go in because the price was moving up. It was moving up pretty nicely and smoothly. It was kind of a late Walmal trade, because I didn't get in at 80 where I should have gotten in. But all the things were lining up, and that's just sometimes you trade what you see, it's one of those trades.
Right, and I believe we've got a new M30 candle forming here. And so far it's red.
Yep.
And looking at the, I was going to say, looking at the range, it looks like we should probably get somewhere between, say, 15 and 20 pips off of this range here. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that was the other reason why I took that trade, because I was on the previous M30 candle, and that was a solid, green candle. So it was everything lined up. So that's all I was going to say. And that's, going back talking about our topic area of, you can't control everything. Now, could I have gone taken that trade and gone against me? Absolutely. So what do? Well, you take your small loss, move on, and what would have happened? You just waited a minute or so, and you would have gotten an opportunity to go short, like you just called out the 82. And now we're sitting at about 75, 76, something like that. That would have been a nice trade. Picked up 5-6 pips. Yeah, sure, you would have taken a 3-pip loss, but you would have picked up 5-6 pips.
Right.
That pays for the groceries.
What? You said you would have picked up a loss. Why would you have picked up a loss?
I'm saying if I had gone into the other trade and it had gone against me directly.
Oh, okay.
That's all. And or I did something silly where I made a mistake and just didn't get out in time.
Right.
I'm fine. You make mistakes. Don't get mad at it. You just go and just continue to follow your plan the best you can. Most of the time, we talked about the market going against you. Brokers doing this, that, whatever. But you know what? It's kind of funny. Most of the time, it's not that the brokers went against us. More times than not, it's because we didn't do and follow our plan the way we should have.
Exactly.
How many times a day have I went and said to you, if I only had done this, well, why? And then you usually come back with, well, why didn't you? I don't know, because I'm foolish. Or, I'm a maroon, as you like to say.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. You just, you can't, you got to make mistakes. And I guess my whole thing about this entire idea, you can't control what you can't control what you can't control, is this whole idea of, what? You can't get so wrapped up in it that you tie yourself in knots. You just got to go and follow your plan to the best of your ability. And if you got a good plan, it'll work out in the end.
Right. And it looks like here on M1, it's trying to get back to. It looks like it's not quite a return bar, but I'm looking at bar here, and the open is 70. So, in fact, I think that was the H1 open. Well, actually, it was 69.70. So maybe they're going to try and push it back to that H1 open. I don't know.
Yeah, or pretty close. It looks like they're going to try to get it down to 70. That's for sure.
Well, we've only got 10 pips on this M30 candle, so
yeah,
it looks like they're going to push it a little bit more.
There we go. I'm down to 70.8 right now, so excuse me. But that's what the market does. It just moves, and. If like I was saying a few minutes ago, if you would have taken a loss on that long, so what? If you played this correctly, you could have been up right now on this short, almost 10 pips. So now 10 pips.
Right.
It would have been, and that's what you have to do is just realize that the market's going to do what the market's going to do, have a plan in place, follow your plan, execute it to the best of your ability, know that you're going to make mistakes. Don't go and sit there and beat yourself up to the point in which you can't follow your plan anymore.
Right. And guess what? That's the fastest 15 minutes in trading. So we'll revisit this topic. And traders, just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.